Hello, everybody. Miss Seeley here. I'm going to do a little lesson with you on adding positive and negative numbers. So in case you missed my lesson on August 13th or 14th, you can watch this lesson and understand how to add positive and negative numbers. So to start off with, your learning target is when I add two numbers like A plus B, the answer is B steps from A. So the two questions you really want to ask yourself when you're adding a positive and negative number are, what is my starting point and which direction will I travel from there? So if I start at A, like any number A, the direction I travel on the number line when I leave A will depend on if the second number B is positive or negative. So if it's positive, you're going to go to the right. If it's negative, you're going to go to the left. Okay, so again, you want to ask yourself these questions. Where is my starting point? So if you're adding two positive numbers, you start at A and you're adding a positive B, you're going to go to the right on the number line. It's going to get more positive. It's like regular adding. If you're starting with A and A is a positive number and you're adding a negative number, you're going to go left. It's like regular subtracting. And then if you're starting with A and A is negative and you're going to add a positive number to it, you're going to go to the right. That one can be a little tricky, so we'll talk more about that one. But you want to think about which direction am I going to go and where will my answer land compared to zero? Will my answer be positive or negative? And we'll talk more about that. So it's kind of like spending money and earning money. So if you add a positive number, it's like you've earned money, right? You've put money in your pocket. And when you add a negative number, it's like spending money. It's like you've gone to the dollar store and let's say you did some chores, you earned some money, and then you went to the dollar store and you spent it, right? So it's kind of like that. So not too complicated. Okay, so let's try some. If both numbers are positive, you're going to start to the right of zero. Oh, hold on. Wrong slide. Let's get to the right slide. Okay, here we go. So let's try some. We have 8 plus 8. We're going to start with this one first. So I'm going to start at 8. And if I'm going to add 8, I'm going to go to the right. And that's going to land, I'm going to go to the right 8 steps, and that's going to land me at 16. It's just like 8 plus 8. However, if I'm doing 8 plus negative 8, I can't go to the right again because that would be 8 plus positive 8. So I'm going to go 8 steps to the left, which is going to land me actually at 0. Okay? If I start at negative 8 and I'm going to add a positive 8, when I add a positive, I go to the right. So I'm going to go to the right 8 steps, and that is going to land me at 0. So again, you want to think about, what's my starting point? Your starting point is the first number in your number sentence. In these two, it was 8. In this one, it's negative 8. And the second thing you want to think about is, which way does my second number tell me to travel on the number line? If it's a positive, it tells you to travel to the right. And if it's negative, it tells you to travel to the left. Okay. All right, so let's try this one. We're going to start at 7 plus 5. So we're going to start at 7, positive 7, and we're going to add a positive 5. So that means we're going to travel to the right 5 steps. That would leave me with 12. Now, if I'm doing 7 plus negative 5, I can't possibly travel in the same direction as I did for 7 plus 5. So 7 plus negative 5 must mean I'm going to travel to the left 5 steps. So it's just like 7 minus 5. It's just the same exact thing, except it looks a little different, right? So we're going to go back 5 steps, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that would land us at positive 2, because I wouldn't get far enough to get across the 0, right? If I'm only taking away 5 of the 7, I still have some left over. I haven't gotten to 0. Okay, so it would land me at 2. If I start at negative 7, this one says start at negative 7, and it says go forward 5, because it says add a positive. So I'm adding a positive. So I'm going to go forward 5. Hey, but you know what? I am not going to have enough to cross the 0. If I owe somebody $7, right, and I pay them back only $5, I still owe them money. I don't owe them nothing. I owe them something. So I haven't crossed the 0. So my answer is going to be negative in this case. right? So I've gone forward 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't have enough to get crossed over into the positive side. So my answer in this case is -2. All right, let's try this one. So this one's 40 plus 7. So we're going to start at 40. It's my starting point. I'm going to add a positive 7. That means I'm going to go to the right, which will land me at 47. So that means if I'm doing 40 plus -7, I'm going to have to go to the left. I hope that looks like left to you. It's my left. I don't know. So I'm going to go backwards or to the left, 7. Now, am I going to get past the 0 over into this negative side? No way. There's no way. I haven't gone 40 steps backwards, right? I'm only going backwards 7 steps. So it's basically 40 minus 7, which is 33. Good job. For this one, it says start at -40. This first number tells me start at -40, and then it says add 7. So if I'm adding 7, I know I have to go to the right. I have to go forward toward the positive direction. So I'm going to go forward 7 steps. Am I going to cross the 0 and get into the positive side? No way. Because to get from here over to here, even to get from -40 to 0, I'd have to take 40 steps. And I only have 7. I can't take 40 steps. So I'm going to start at -40 and I'm going to take 7 steps. 7 steps is going to go probably here. It's really tiny, huh? So -40, take 7 steps forward. So I'm still on the negative side here. I'm still negative. So I'm going to land at -33. So it's kind of weird. You still subtract 40 minus 7, but then I know my answer is going to be negative because I didn't make it across the 0 to get to the positive side. So it's going to be -33. So when you start with a positive number and you add a negative number, which direction do you travel? So it's like this one. When you start with a positive number and you add a negative number, which direction do you travel? Do you go to the right or do you go to the left? You go to the left. Good job, people. Let's look at the next question. When you start with a negative number and you add a positive number, which direction do you travel? So that one is like this question. You start with a negative number and you add a positive number. Which direction do you travel? You travel to the right. Anytime you add a positive number, you go to the right. You go forward toward the positive side. It gets more positive. All right, good job, people. Now let's try this one's a little different. Watch this, people. So we have 8. We start at 8. This number tells me start at 8. And then it says add 10. Well, that's easy. It's like regular adding, right? I take 8. I'm here at 8, and then I'm going to go 10 steps forward. That's going to land me at 18. Easy peasy. Okay. But now we have 8, and we're going to add -10. I can't go forward again because 8 plus 10 and 8 plus -10 are not the same thing. If I'm adding a negative, I have to go the other way. So I'm going to go back 10 steps, but watch, this is 8 steps, right? From 8 to 0 is 8 steps, but I have to take 10 steps. 1, 2. So I have landed on the negative side this time. I have. Because I have to go 10 steps backwards. So 8, 9, 10. So remember when your teacher used to say, oh, what's 8 minus 10? And you guys are like, oh, they can't do that. Ah! In first grade. Well, now you know you can do that, right? You can do 8 minus 10. It's like if you have $8 and you go up to the checkout and you want to buy 10 things at the dollar store, you have to borrow $2 from your mother to do it, or your grandma, or your aunt, or whoever, or your brother, or your sister. So you can do it, but you have to borrow money to do it. And that's what we've just done. We've got the $8 we needed. We have to borrow 2 more bucks, right? Now we owe somebody $2. We are at -2. So this one, you start at -8. It says start here. This is your starting point. And it says add a positive 10. So that means I'm going to go to the right, 10. But look, again, I'm only 8 steps away. So that means I've got to go 8, 9, 10. And it's going to land me on the positive side. It's like you owed somebody $8, but you only have a 10 to pay them back. So now you gave them 2 extra bucks. So they made $2 off of you, right? That's no good. You got to get change and give them only $8. But anyway, you have 8, you owed 8, you paid back 10. So you paid back $2 extra. So when this number is bigger, it's going to change your answer sign, right? The bigger number decides what the sign of the answer is. That's a hint. Okay. So you still subtract, you still do 10 minus 8 and you get 2. And this time it's going to be positive 2. 10 minus 8 is 2, but your answer is negative 2. All right, same thing here. So we're starting at 17. We add 40. Whoop, we're going to go this way. Easy peasy, 57. But now 17 plus negative 40, we're going to go back. Way back. We got to take 40 steps backwards. So here's 17 steps. We have only gone 17. We got to go 40 steps. So we got to go 33 more steps backwards. So your answer, you're going to land way over here in negative territory and negative 33. If you start at negative 17 and you add 40, you're going to have to take 40 steps forward. So here's 17 steps forward. But you got to keep going. You haven't gone enough steps forward. So you got to go 33 more steps forward. You're going to land over here at positive 33. So again, you subtract, and the answer sign is determined by the bigger number. In this case, your answer is going to be negative 33. In this case, your answer is going to be positive 33. So what happens to the answer when the negative number is bigger than the positive number? The answer is going to be negative. Okay, let's look at some fractions. So fractions are the same thing, and I'm giving you common denominators here to make this easy. So if you start at 5/8 and you have to take 1/8 of a step forward plus 1/8, you're going to go this way. It's going to be 6/8, right? You just add them, regular adding. 5/8 plus negative 1/8 means you have to take 1/8 step backwards. So it's like regular subtracting. 5/8 minus 1/8, 4/8. Okay. Now we're starting at negative 5/8, and we're going to add a positive 1/8. Again, anytime you add a positive, whoop, you got to go forward. So you're at negative 4/8. Weird, right? But, you think about it, you've basically like paid back 1/8. So now you only owe 4/8. Your answer is still negative. You didn't take enough steps to cross the 0. Your answer is going to stay negative. Just like here, you didn't take enough steps to cross the 0. Your answer is going to stay positive. In this case, the 5/8 is bigger. So the sign of the answer is going to be positive because the 5/8 is positive. In this case, the 5/8 is negative. So your answer is going to be negative because the 5/8 is bigger, and the bigger number tells you what your answer sign has to be. Okay, one more. This one, we're starting at 1/4, and we're going to add 2/4. So that's easy, just regular adding. 1/4 and 2/4 would land me over here at 3/4. I would go to the right. If I start at 1/4 and I have to add negative 2/4, I can't go to the right, as I just went to the right when I added a positive. So now I'm adding a negative. I have to go the other way. So I have to go backwards. So this is a 1/4. That's going to take me to 0. And I've got another 1/4 over here. So I'm going to land in the negative side over here. And my answer is going to be negative 1/4. Right? I've gone backwards 1/4, but that's not enough. I have to go backwards 2/4. So I've gone backwards 1/4 and another 1/4, and that will land me at negative 1/4. Again, the negative 2/4 will determine that my answer has to be negative in this case. So again, I subtract. 2/4 minus 1/4 is 1/4, and it's going to be negative because 2/4 is negative and it's bigger. Let's try this one. We're going to start at 1/4. Oh, I forgot to put it on this paper. Start at negative 1/4, which would be over here. And we're going to add 2/4. So we're going to go forward 1/4, forward another 1/4. That would give me 2/4, and that will land me at positive 1/4. Again, you subtract. 2/4 minus 1/4 is 1/4. But this time it's going to be positive because this number is bigger. It kind of eats up the other number. The bigger number kind of eats the other number. Now, one thing you need to know about adding positive and negative numbers is sometimes Books write them like this, where they put parentheses around the negative number. And the kids get very confused. They think, does that mean I have to do -3 first? No, it does not. This is still your starting point. This is still the number that tells you which direction to go. So you would start at 6, and you would go backward 3, and your answer would be 3. This parentheses is just there so that you don't get confused by seeing a plus and a minus next to each other. I don't write it that way, but most books write it this way. So you need to kind of know, right? I kind of need to know what that is. Okay. All right. So today you've learned when you add two numbers like number A and number B, the answer is B steps away from A, whatever sign that is, right? You start at A and you go B number of steps. So if B is a positive, you're going to go to the right. And if B is a negative, you're going to go to the left, right? The direction you travel will depend on if B is positive or negative. So always ask yourself, what is my starting point and which direction will it travel from there? Your starting point is your first number. Okay, I hope this helps, people. If you have any questions, pop them on the question and answer document and I will answer them. Bye.